justice and peace and equality. For the world they will see.
And there at John Jay, majored in criminology and psychology, and they were different programs there and courses like in forensic psychology, forensic science. So just really started getting more and more embedded. And during that time, of course, still shadowing my dad. By that time, he had or started his law practice, the law office of Stephen Knights. And so just kind of, really diving into different areas, family law, criminal law, and just getting a feel. So my passion stemmed, I would say, from as early as maybe 5 years old, in the law, and it still continues today. And the courtroom is a place, it's a safe space for me. I'm comfortable in the courtroom and definitely, want to continue to do what I've seen good judges do over the course of my life, which is being fair, impartial, following the law, and certainly being respectful and punctual and expecting the litigants and the participants to come into court, respect the courtroom decorum, and just do what they have to do so that matters can be handled and resolved.
Now, you grew up in Ghana. Now, most people get it confused, Ghana and Guyana, one in Africa and one in Central America.
Well,
Right?
I think you got it confused.
I got it confused.
because Ghana is in Africa.
Okay.
And that's not where I was born. I was born in Guyana, which is in South America. And so people do get it confused. Ghana, Africa, Guyana, South America. Now, Guyana, here's a Jeopardy, pop quiz question for you. So Guyana is the only English-speaking country in South America. So it's right on the top of South America, which it's to the left, the neighbor is Venezuela, and to the right, the neighbor is French Guyana. So, of course, most countries in South America, you may have, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, other languages, French, but in Guyana it's unique because it was a colony of England or Great Britain, the United Kingdom. So independence was gained in 1966. So that's just a brief, quick history lesson in case you're ever on Jeopardy. But primarily grew up in New York City and then made my way to Michigan and then ultimately settled. And Georgia's my home, has been my home for 18 plus years or so.
Okay, now, when I first met you, I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago, you were serving as a lawyer in the Clayton County area of Metro Atlanta, right? Now, you spoke about how your father started his own practice and that inspired you to start your own practice. What were some of the challenges that you faced in becoming a lawyer and becoming a lawyer in such a area where, law may not be seen as a value or asset?
Well, there's a lot of parts to that question. So for me, my beginning of my career, I was an assistant solicitor general. And so as an assistant solicitor, technically what happened was prosecuting misdemeanor matters in Clayton County in 2006, and then went on to become an assistant district attorney in the Griffin Judicial Circuit. And so I was primarily the what was known as the drug prosecutor. So I did major felonies, trafficking from possession to possession with intent to trafficking, drug offenders. So I did that, and then made my way to the district attorney's office in Clayton County, where handled all type of felonies, murder, armed robbery, rape, child molestation, and the works, but always have my eye on ultimately going on the criminal defense side primarily. So I was a prosecutor for about 7 years. And in 2012, my wife, Keisha Knights, she had already started a law practice, the Knights Law Group. And so technically, I joined her law practice, so it wasn't per se, or never was, my law practice. It was her law practice. I came on board to do primarily criminal defense, civil litigation, personal injury, dog bites, those type of matters, and also a little bit of immigration and any litigation matters on the civil side. So for me, I was fortunate enough to step into an already established law practice. So it wasn't a challenge per se where folks may have to work from the ground up, though I did see my wife work her way through the beginnings of a law practice, but she also had several different role models and folks to follow the blueprint of. So during the time when I was in private practice at the Knights Law Group, I was also a magistrate court judge in Clayton County. And so I was able to preside over matters, of course, civil matters, value being up to $15,000, and criminal matters such as first appearance, preliminary hearings, and bond hearings. But I could not practice law in Clayton County because, of course, that would be a conflict. So I practiced in all of the other counties throughout Georgia. So for me, I'm always, passionate about the law profession. And so for me, I think that a law firm or a lawyer is always a valuable asset in any area. In court, I always say to folks, during arraignment, this is their first encounter in the courtroom on their matter. And I always say, hey, if I have a leaky faucet, a leaking pipe, I'll call a plumber. Of course, I can go on YouTube and watch a video and try to do it myself, but I might have the wrong wrench. I might not have the right screw. I might not caulk it correctly. I don't know. So the same as in the courtroom is an arena of
Justice
legal.
and peace and equality. Now the world they will see. That's why